The plant that's taking up the frame here is called Anthurium plowmanii Fruffles. And Anthurium plowmanii is actually named after the late Tim Plowman, who was an excellent ethnobotanist and a good friend of one of my friends, Wade Davis, who is also an incredible ethnobotanist and who actually wrote the foreword to my book, How to Make a Plant Love You. So I have to say a big shout out to him here. But this one is a cultivated variety, and I think that it was probably not hybridized or anything like that. It was probably selected, and it's called Fruffles. And I think Fruffles meaning it has a little bit of a ruffly, fruffly nature to it. And this I've had growing in my house for, I don't even know how long, but for quite some time. I actually don't have it growing in the best light. It's actually growing under a light bulb, but not a grow bulb. Actually, I do have a new grow bulb that's kind of up above it, but it's so far up, I don't think it's probably getting that much residual light from it. But these bird's nest anthuriums, especially some of the cultivated varieties, I find happen to be, and the hybridized varieties, seem to be much more resilient in the house, especially if you don't have a tremendous amount of light or even direct light. So I would say as far as lighting goes, this is on the moderate range end. You're not gonna get as great growth if you're not giving it like, you know, say like a little bit more bright indirect light. But I wish I could show you some of the roots here, but the roots are quite large. Some of them look like, actually I need to cut them back because they're coming out, and some of them look a little like dry. And so if the roots start to look a little bit dry, you could just actually snip them off. But they have like really, really thick roots. And these plants are typically like clinging onto something, so a little bit more epiphytically. So you want to give them a little bit more of an epiphytic mixture. And they're not accustomed to getting water all the time. You know, they have a I would say semi-succulent leaf. They're not like a thin-leafed plant, but if you ever see their roots, they're like, you know, monster roots, and they could easily break out of their pot. And you'll see I have this kind of in a pot here. It's actually a plastic pot. I don't like looking at plastic pots, so I gave it a little sweater bag, if you will, here that I got from Anthropology, and actually has a lot of colors. I can't do that because this plant then is in my face, but it has a lot of colors that I really like and that kind of somewhat match my room, I guess. I really don't know. But humidity, these guys would like humidity, but it's not, they don't require it, which is always a very good thing. As far as fertilizing goes, on a monthly basis is gonna be great with a balanced fertilizer. So if you're going the more synthetic route, like a 10-10-10, or if you're growing more organic, like 1-1-1 or 2-2-2. And you know, I don't have any pest pressures on here. I do look at this plant and I'm like, oh my God, this needs a really good dusting. And I think when you have a plant that has like leaves that are coming out a little bit more horizontally, it tends to collect a little bit more dust. So I'm like kind of embarrassed. I need to actually put this in the shower and give it a good wash out. You know, and I was looking close here and I was like, oh my God, does this have a little bit of scale? But it doesn't look like scale to me. Or if it is, then I'd have to kind of manage that. But otherwise, I don't think that I've had any kind of pest pressures with this plant. It just seems to be like a really more resilient one. All these like bird's nest anthuriums feel to me a little bit more resilient. I don't know if I said where this is from, because sometimes I go so fast I can't even quite remember, but this is native to a little bit more of South America. So everywhere like Brazil, Paraguay, maybe Belize, Bolivia, places like that. And but the Fruffles version is a cultivated version, and a lot of the cultivated versions are actually propagated through tissue culture. But you could also take the seeds when the plant gives seeds, and then you could actually propagate it from there as well.